I know when you asked this question, this is not what you meant, but this is what I'm going to give you. Get ready for the clickbait. Why was it textured? I have not done like a little DIY SFX moment in so long. This is going to be my little test before Halloween to make sure I've still got it. I'm covering my eye with a piece of toilet tissue just because I'm going to tape my eye in because I don't want to accidentally like cut it later. So I need my eye to disappear. Why do I look like a pirate already? I just want to let the record reflect that I do not recommend using scissors around your eye like this. Okay, slay. Okay, I'm then taking some liquid latex and on a sponge. This is good because it's like flesh colored. This is special effects glue basically. But you have to cover everything up because if you get it in your hair, in your eyebrows, in your lashes, if you want to ever get it off, you will be ripping out said hair. And then because I want to create a bit of a barrier between my eye and the skinny fleshy part that I'm going to cut through, I'm just taking a cotton ball, flatten her out a bit. If I was just doing like a regular wound somewhere else on my face, I would just do this with toilet tissue. However, I need something a little bit thicker. I'm not risking cutting anywhere near my eye. And then I'm going over again. I'm just gonna like keep layering this up until I like the way she's looking. Just layering and layering. I am actually gonna move on to the regular part of the makeup now. I'm gonna take my espresso dewy latte primer. Making sure we're rubbing it in all over our face. Obviously avoiding the latex area. And taking my foundation, I'm using the Lancôme tint idole. I want something nice and full coverage so that everything will look a little bit more even. So, take a little bit of this. And I am putting that foundation all over the eye area as well. I'm really hoping everything is blended because my vision's not great. And then I'm going to use the same brush. I'm going in with my Makeup Forever HD Skin Palette. I'm going to use this shade here, slightly more contoury shade. Actually, I might mix these two together. And then for a bit of blush, I'm going to go in with the cream side of the Patrick Ta She's Blushing. We're going with quite a light hand of this. We just want that kind of barely there flush. And I'm also taking that colour all over the eye. This is going to be a really good base colour actually. When we start doing a little bit more gruesome looking stab wounds. For concealer, I'm using a little bit of mcgrath and I'm just going to take a little bit of that under my eyes. A bit on my lid as well. Chin. Nose, and blend that all out. I can't see very well, but I feel like we're like looking pretty slay. I'm just going to tell myself positive things. I'm then going to set my bronzer with this Sigma Medium Matte Bronzer. I'm also going to take this bronzer all over the eye again, and then a bit of the Patrick Ta Powder Blush as well. Okay, to complete the glam, I'm just going to use a little bit of setting powder and just set the rest of my face. I feel like she goes for a relatively natural matte look, so I'm just going to make sure everything's nice and set down in place. For the eye, I'm taking a more neutral to brown leaning eyeshadow, and we're running that all over the lid. And we're not winging the eyeshadow out, just keeping it nice and round. I'm going to take the little champagne colour from this palette and put that in my inner corner and a little bit under my eyebrow. I'm actually going to take a little bit of that champagne as a highlighter on my nose as well. And then taking a liquid liner, we're doing a nice small wing. The worst part about only having one eye, it's not the lack of vision, it's like the depth perception. I can't actually tell how far across I'm holding my liner. I'm realizing in hindsight I definitely could have done the eye before I put the rest of this eye patch thing on. But the best part about doing one eye, it doesn't have to be perfect because whatever I do on the side, there's nothing to compare it to. I'm then going to curl my lash and put on a bit of mascara. Then taking a much smaller eyeshadow brush, something that's preferably a little bit more flat, I'm taking this medium warm brown shade. And I'm just running that directly under my lash line. She's got a nice smoky eye without it being like actually in the waterline. Now for lip liner, this is definitely serving an Anywhere Caffeine moment. So I just need to find it. My Anywhere Caffeine is almost empty, so it's a bit of a mesh to find. So taking my liner and I'm gonna outline my lips. Oh my god, I've got a pimple right on my lip line. I woke up with it this morning. Obviously I've got like a gazillion pimples on my face, but as soon as it's on the lip line, or like in this area, why do they always hurt more than the rest of your face? The ones that are on your lip line, they're always so painful. She's got a nice soft matte peachy lip, so I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Velvet in the shade Peachy Nude. For my eyebrows, I'm going to use a powder because I feel like it's going to be the easiest to draw in both sides. I'm honestly just going to stamp on a brow and hope for the best. I'm just getting the base color in. This doesn't have to be perfect. You're not really going to be looking at my eyebrow at all, so. Okay, look, honestly, not my best work Not my worst work. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. I've also just had the realization that I literally have a wig, so I'm probably gonna have to go over my brows anyway with a black. Living, laughing, loving at this point. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit saucy. So next I'm going to take my bperfect Carnival Antidote palette, and what I'm going to do, I want to start building up the colour on the skin before I cut it, because once it's cut and it's kind of flapping around, we still need it to look kind of bloody bruised. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to take this palette. You can see it's got these beautiful kind of autumnal colours, and I'm going to mix a bit of these red and purpley shades, and I'm doing that on like a big contour blush brush. I'm just going to tap that all over the eye area. Being quite messy with this. Bruising isn't perfect. So this is like my little makeshift knife part that I've made. I'm really sad because I don't have any silver metallic paint, which would have been perfect. So I've just covered it in highlighter and called it a day. It kind of glistens-ish. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start cutting into this eye. And you have to be so careful. It's not even funny. Okay, jump scare. This is what we're looking like. It actually works out really well because the tape kind of ends up looking like an eyeball. I'm just going to lay out a little bit more latex. I just want the barrier between my eyes. I'm then just taking some water activated paint, and I'm just going to colour that in red because it's going to be bloody. I like using paints right at the base of the wound because it just gives you more colour and more pigment. I'm really like painting on the inside of those like little skin pieces. Wait for that to dry. While that's drying, I'm just going to take this Carnival palette again, and I'm going to take a mix of these kind of reddy purpley shades and just really start lightly tapping that eyeshadow around the wound. This is what gives you like that little bit of drama. I'm also taking a black shadow right in the under foldy areas just for depth. It makes it look more like a shadow. Before I stick the knife in, I'm gonna put the wig on because I think once I do the knife and like the blood and everything, it's gonna be really hard to see anything. So yeah, I'll be right back. I just know that this hair is gonna annoy me so much. Okay, I'm taking a bit more liquid latex onto the end of my little knife piece, and I'm gonna put it right. And now we wait for it to dry. I feel like that's looking pretty good, to be honest, from what I can actually see. Okay, so now is for the fun part, and this is where TikTok's probably going to ban this video. The coagulated blood. This is what makes it look super gruesome. So it has to be coagulated. Coagulated is so good because it's kind of like chunky, and so it just looks a little bit more realistic. Grab this bad boy, wiping it all through the little wound hole, and I'm going to pull it up a little bit onto the knife. Then you want to take some liquid blood, and in this video they pretty much put it everywhere, so I'm just going to start dripping it all around the eye. Okay, I think that blood went more on my body than it did onto my face. I'm going to take the coagulated blood again, I think, and just see what we can get going. Oh my god, I'm getting this everywhere because I can't see! And we're done. That is my Jenna Ortega taste-inspired makeup all completed. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're ready for Halloween, because clearly I am. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.